The only reason, can you not think of anything you've done or said or anything in the relationship between you and either Kathleen Savio and Stacy Peterson that might cause investigators and the police to think, we got to watch out for that guy?
Well, all these things you just mentioned, sure.
What about the nature of the relationships, the controlling element of it, the fact that Kathleen Savio said she was terrified of you and Stacy said she was worried about you? Was there cause for worry?
No, not at all. It's just I controlled my family. I think more people in America should control their family.
You still think that Stacy, your wife, ran off with another man?
That's all the information that I had, and that's all I can believe.
Have you told your kid, last time you were here, you told me that you've been telling your two children that Mom was on vacation. Now it's been 4 months.
Right. The older two boys, they know exactly what's going on.
I'm talking about the younger two.
The younger two, I've consulted with a psychologist, and they said that for children that age, that's age appropriate to say that to them. In
your own heart, you still think she's run off with another man, but have you allowed yourself to consider, even if you have nothing to do with it, that she could also be the victim of foul play?
Might very well be possible, yes.
Because she disappeared.
Right. But I simply don't know.
But you've said, I think, Mr. Brodke, it's easy for someone to disappear.
Yes.
But two people would have had to disappear if indeed she ran off with another man. Two people would have had to disappear for 4 months, not tap into their bank accounts, not use their credit cards, not buy an airline ticket, not be seen on surveillance camera, and not, as you've told me, Stacy was a great mother, not even contact her kids. Right. It seems highly unlikely, doesn't it?
Yes. Very much so.
But you still think she's with a man?
That's the only information that I have.
You've been very public over the course of this and have gotten a lot of criticism for some of the things you've done. Appearing on this show was one, doing a shoot for People magazine another, a radio program I think we could describe as an ill-fated radio program where you participated in a stunt called Win a Date with Drew Peterson. What do you regret over the last 4 months, Drew?
Letting Geraldo Rivera in my house.
Anything other than that?
Nothing other than that,
well,
really.
Some of those things, what we've discovered is, defense lawyers, cops, investigators, police officers, prosecutors, is kind of a coping mechanism. We developed this kind of perverse sense of humor, and it's not really appreciated.
Some called a morgue mentality type thing.
Exactly, and it's if we never meant to make anybody, insult anybody, it's just the sense of humor that is outside our kind of like little field that it's just not appreciated or understood.
You have both maintained all along that you do not feel you will be arrested. You've said that to me both on several occasions. Yes. Do you still feel that you will not be arrested?
I just don't know.
How about you?
I still do not see any credible evidence.
But are you as confident that he will not be arrested?
Yes, I am.
Are you prepared to be arrested?
Yes.
Are you prepared that there's a chance you could spend the rest of your life in jail?
I'm prepared for anything that should come up. Once I found out my main concern about anything is my children. And once all my ducks are in line for their well-being, I'm okay.
I think people might find that strange, Drew, that an innocent man would say, as long as my kids are okay, it's okay if I spend the rest of my life in jail. I'm all right.
It's not okay, but psychologically and physically, as long as my children are okay, I'm okay.
The court of public opinion, the jurors in that court are watching this morning. So if you want to look into the camera, what would you say to the jurors in the court of public opinion who are not so sure that you had nothing to do with either the disappearance of Stacy or the death of Kathleen?
What would I say to them?
Yeah.
There's really nothing to say with them. Basically, they're going to have to make their decision based on evidence presented or not presented.
And that's all I would add to it. Just look at the evidence. One can suspect and be wrong. In Illinois, we had 13 people who were actually on death row who were later exonerated, found to be not guilty. You have to really just look at the evidence because as much as suspicion is or strange coincidence might be, if wrong decisions happen in courts, because you go by emotion, not by evidence, and all I would say is look at the evidence, and there's no evidence that Drew did anything wrong.
Real quickly, the Illinois State Police revoked your gun permit. They returned, the prosecutors returned some weapons that they seized in a search warrant from your home, and now you've had that permit revoked so you cannot no longer use a firearm. Were you upset about that?
Well, I really don't have a need for firearms. I'm not a policeman any longer, so it's like, yeah, it's my property, my stuff, but I just have to go with what they do. And that, of course, is open to some sort of litigation and controversy. So.
And I guess I just feel the need to ask you at the end here, you had nothing to do with either of these situations, the disappearance of Stacy or the death of Kathleen Savio?
Nothing.
Drew Peterson, Mr. Brodsky, thanks for being here this morning.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
I appreciate it. 7:43, we're back right after this.